What's up, you guys? I want to introduce you guys to a brand new battery here from Jackery. Right here in front of me is the new Explorer 1000 Plus. And I know on this channel in the past, we've made videos about the Jackery 1000, the Jackery 1000 Pro, and now the new one, the 1000 Plus. Well, this one here, my friends, I believe is the most ideal battery for a van life that you're going to be in a van for a long time, because I know when you're in a van for a long time, your power needs are going to increase. So you may start with a battery like this that might work, but in 6 months later, what do you do when you need more storage capacity for power and this battery no longer fits your needs? So do you just get rid of your battery, which means getting rid of your inverter, all the places you plug things into, your charging stuff? You got to toss it all and buy yourself a new one? Not anymore. Not with the brand new Plus series line from Jackery. Why? Because now when you need more power in 6 months or a year, you just add an expansion pack. That's where the Jackery Plus comes in. Oh, this is cool. Check it out right here. Boom. Your expansion battery, and it's an exact match to the battery that's inside of here. You pop it on top, you plug them in with a connector cable, and now you've just doubled your battery capacity from the first battery that you bought. So think of this. Imagine you buying this one, needing this one, and then what happens is your power needs increase. You can buy another one. You can expand this thing with 3 extra batteries. So 1 and then 3 extra expansions on the top. So today, let's take a closer look at the brand new battery. I want to introduce you guys officially to the Jackery 1000 Plus. So I'm not sure what's bringing you into the market looking for a portable power system. It could be running a full off-grid cabin or just running your camper van. This is just my opinion. I think the Jackery 1000 Plus sits right smack dab in the middle of where everybody needs to be, enough to power the smaller camper vans, enough to power the bigger camper vans, and also enough power that if you stacked it all up, you could use it as an off-grid system in your entire cabin. I think this one here sits right dab in the middle, and I'm going to call this one the best battery for van life so far. Let's take a look at the 1000 Plus as a standalone unit without adding any of the additional batteries, because chances are a lot of people are going to buy these as a standalone before they add any additions to it. Or you never know, maybe you're the kind of person that goes all out right at the very beginning and expands the entire thing. So I think your best way to choose these batteries straight out the gate is with the size of inverter that you're going to need to power the devices you have in your van. This 1000 Plus has a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter, meaning you can plug anything into here up to 2000 watts of a power draw. This will handle a little bit more on a spike, just so you have something, a blender that may kick in for a little spike now and then. But as a constant draw, 2000 watts of power is your maximum. So if you have a 1600 watt induction cooktop or an 1800 watt induction cooktop, you can 100% run it right here because it has a 2000 watt maximum pure sine wave inverter. And pure sine wave means that the current coming out of here is nice and level, so there's no spikes on any of your delicate devices like your laptops and things like that. So everything electronic wise is nice and safe to run on one of these machines. But your inverter size is probably the best way to judge where to start off on your batteries. So with this one here, 2000 watts is enough to run anybody's van, and I don't care what you're running in your van. If you need something more than 2000 watts of pull, you need to renegotiate in your brain the type of devices that you're running inside of your vehicle. In my van behind me, I have a built-in system with a 700 watt inverter. Just to give you an idea, that is ginormous for me. I don't run devices that big, but you never know. You may be an air fryer, induction cooktop kind of person. If so, the 1000 Plus will do you just fine. Where that's going to limit people is how much storage capacity you have for power. So inside of here has 1,264 watt hours of power. Meaning if you had a device that pulled exactly 1,264 watts, it would run for 1 hour and you would need to fully charge this device because it would be at 0. So think of it that way, okay? You may be running some high-powered devices, but how long are those devices going to run? So the easiest way to do is divide the power outing on your device with the amount of watt hours in here, and it'll tell you what your runtime is. Or Jackery made it super easy for you on the screen display. The second you plug something in, it will tell you what your battery percentage is and how much time you can run that item before this thing needs to be fully charged, cutting out the math, cutting out the headache, cutting out everything. So taking a look at the front on here, it's pretty easily laid out. If you want to plug anything into the power bank here, you simply push that button, plug your item in there, and there's your screen display right there on the top. When you want to shut off any of your devices, laptops, TVs, whatever you have plugged into here, you simply push the button, that shuts the inverter off. And this thing is super, super quiet when you run it. You don't have to run a loud generator to have any power. You simply turn it on. You have a tiny fan that kicks on right there. It is super, super quiet. And that's it. Shut her off. And if you want to plug anything into here, you have your USB-A and your USB-Cs. So if you're like me who has a laptop that pulls 85 watts, I can plug my laptop in right there, turn that on without needing one of those big chunky Apple white bricks that go in the wall. USB-C to USB-C in the side of my computer, and boom, that thing charges up to 100 watts. I love the USB-C added feature on here. And it's got a fancy light up here if you want to start a disco party, you know, something like that. And on this side, oops, come on, the party wants to continue. On this side here, you have your standard cigarette lighter here. So if you have anything you want to plug into there, radar detector, I don't know, whatever you're plugging into a device like that, you push that button, turns that on. Super, super simple to use. On the back of it here is where you're going to find all your connections for either plugging it into the wall. So you can plug this in back here, plug it right into the wall, and get this thing charged off the wall in 100 minutes. From 0 to full, this thing pretty much charges in 100 minutes. Pretty damn awesome. Down here, you have your DC input. So if you're using any solar, we'll dive into that in a bit. Your solar gets plugged in down here, and you can plug a mountain of solar into this thing. If you're running 4 of the Solar Saga 200 watt solar panels, which is like creating a solar field, it really honestly is. You plug those in here, you can charge this thing from 0 to full in just two hours. Nice and easy. So here on the back, you have this large connection, which is where Jackery has included this great big connector cable, because when you're connecting these batteries together, having the proper gauge wire is so key. And that's where building your own DIY setups can sometimes fail, because if you underwire your system, you can cause a fire. Using a device like this, if you don't understand how to do those big electrical systems with solar batteries, inverters, and all the different gauges of wire and type of fuses and fuse sizes, you can get yourself into a bit of trouble. That's where these things take the headache out for you. You simply take this, it's marked A on the bottom. You take the A one here, you plug that in there, and then this one goes into your expansion battery pack. So these expansion packs are awesome. All you got to do on the back here is flip the lid open on this one. It says B, plug it into B on the top. Bada bam, right here you have 1,264 watt hours in the bottom, and then you just plugged in another additional 1,264 watt hours right there on screen. And if you were to use all of the expansion packs on here, so the base and 3 extra expandable batteries, you just turned your Jackery 1000 into pretty much a Jackery 5000. So I think that increases it to a little over 5,000 watt hours of power, which is a pile of stored juice. So then if you're ever running your induction cooktop and later on you want to kick on your microwave, make some popcorn and watch TV all day, maybe run your gaming system, run everything else, you can do that now with buying your base battery as your pretty much your head unit in your entire electrical system. Everything you need is right here, and then add the packs as you need. I think making this one here probably one of the best batteries in the Jackery lineup for van life, camper vanning, and overlanding. Car camping, all depending on the size you have to devote to power in your vehicle. But I think now with these new expandable packs, it really opens up who these batteries are for. I believe this one here has over 60 little mechanisms in there that constantly monitor everything in the battery. So if it triggers anything that seems to be wrong, the battery will just shut off on you. It's just safe to use. You don't got to worry about fires. And that's one thing about having an inbuilt system like I have. There's so many little factors of a wire getting rocked loose or something like that. And it doesn't have a protective battery monitor system like this does in there. So if something does fail, wires will get hot, fires will get started. So there's definitely a big plus side about using something like this on the safety side and just like the peace of mind and at ease side. Jackery now has their own app. Let me find it there. There's the Jackery app in my phone. You pop open the app and it loads up all of your devices. So going through here, here's the 1000 plus, and I got a few batteries right now connected. I have my 3000 Pro, my 2000 plus, and the new 1000 plus connected here. You hit that button and now it's loading. Everything that's going on in here is now available on the app on your phone. Yep, power's on. So taking a look here, that battery is at 100%. We have no input charge coming in because we're obviously not plugged in, and we have nothing going on the output. A cool thing is you have some control right here along this bar here of all your plugs here on the front. So just say I want to turn on my USBs over there, that little light will come on right there. Watch this. There you go. Now my USBs are on. I want to turn on the inverter. Boom. Now the inverter is on. I want to turn on my DC. Boom. Now the DC is on. So that light, and that light. Watch this. I'm going to shut them off. Let's go. Boom. 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 Which is awesome. So you're lying in bed and just say you have some USB lights, maybe some mood lights running around. You know what I mean? And you want to turn on some mood lights. You push that button. Turns on the mood lights, shuts them off at the end of the night. Inside of the Plus Series battery is the LifePo 4 lithiums, which is a way better battery technology, giving you a longer lifespan on these things. So these ones are good for 4,000 charge cycles. So in a nutshell, if you were to charge this thing every day and drain it every day for 10 years, that is a pile of use, especially if you got the expansion packs added to it. If you were to drain this thing and fill this up every day for 10 years, after 10 years, you would still have 70% of this battery's life left in it, which is an incredible thing. By the time you hit 10 years, you moved on to something else at that point. But the longevity on these things is beautiful. They're a smart purchase for somebody who plans on just having something movable for years. And a good thing I find with these is that, especially if you're a multi-adventure person, say you have a cabin by the lake that needs some power. You pick up one of these with some expansion packs and some solar panels, you're good to go. Then you want to take off in your overland camper van for a little while, go on an adventure, you can just take the bottom one and a couple solar panels and peace out and take off. And when you're back home and you're just enjoying some time, make sure all these things stay charged up before you throw them in the garage. And then when the power goes out at home, what do? Let's grab the Jackery battery and the expansion pack. Boom. How we doing? Power on, expandable batteries on, inverter on. We need some lights. Bada bang, bada bang. Boom. Within like a minute, we got power. But then what happens when you're hungry and the power's out? Hold on a second, we can do that too. Battery's at 100%, and we're currently pulling 101 watt on AC. Chicken wings coming up. All right, guys, how we doing? Let's reload it. Pulling 1,650 watts. and we're allowed to pull 2,000 watts on a maximum on here. And because we're in the shop, what if I needed to continue to charge up one of my Milwaukees so I could keep working? Just like that, 1,637 watts. So we could still even plug more stuff in there. But for my scenario right now, you guys kind of get the point. Boom, you're up and running, batteries charged so you can keep working, lights done. Now you have, oops, sorry, I need a double thumbs up. Now you have a full off-grid system, that easy to use. And quiet. Like here, normally, if the power goes out, I would have to go outside, start a generator, fill it full of fuel. The neighbors would hear the whole time and fumes would be kicking out everywhere. We're now running a system like this. It's silent. None of your neighbors would know you had power. Except for the smell of cookies because you're making cookies or something like that. Like, how are they baking over there? I'm like, oh, because they got power. But that's the great thing about it. I mean, it's you have your initial investment to buy a unit like this, but after you've already made the investment, it's free to run. You put up the solar panels outside, you soak in some energy from the sun, and you've got yourself some free fumeless power, which is really beautiful. That I think is a good starter setup. You don't go with the expandable battery pack unless you need it. I think a good setup would be for a van is take the 1,000 plus, add yourself a couple of these Solar Saga 100 watt solar panels, or you can also do the Solar Saga 200 watt panels. It's pretty basic. This is a 100 watt panel, AKA the 100 in the Solar Saga, or the Solar Saga 200 is a double folding one. So it's got four pieces, 1, 2, and then 2 more. It's actually quite the large panel. They magnet together on the back here. They've got some foldable legs, so when you lie them down on the ground, you can prop them up and make sure that they're pointed at the exact right angle needed to optimize any sunshine that you are getting. And back here, you fold the legs out, tip them up. Bada boom. That's it. You take one cable from each side and you plug them in to the back of your unit and it will start charging everything. One solar panel in and your second panel. Simple as that. Now, if we were outside, we'd be generating electricity right now. As simple as that. Couple foldable panels plugged into there, you're done. I think this is an awesome setup to get started in van life, to have enough power to run everything that you need and get yourself into the solar game. You connect cable A on the bottom to cable B on the top. Now, as simple as that, you are charging both units simultaneously. There's a little box right there. On the front of the box is a USB-A and a USB-C plug on there. So if you wanted to, you could literally throw the solar panels out without the battery and plug directly right into here and pull straight from the sun. Kind of a cool concept. I've never used that aspect of it, but you definitely could. Jackery is now using IBC solar technology, making these things way more efficient than your standard solar panel, especially when you're out there in conditions like I am right now, where there's a heavy amount of haze and smoke in the air, or if you're just in cloudier conditions. The new IBC technology is going to make them more efficient in those scenarios. And trust me, when you're out there and you're not in great weather conditions, having the ability to pull an extra stack of watts out of the air is a beautiful thing anytime you can get it. These things are also IP68 rated for water and dust. You could chuck this in a creek if you wanted to. Don't do it, but you could. You could leave these things out in the rain. You're not gonna have a problem. Or if you're out in the backcountry, parked by a backcountry road there and there's a lot of semi trucks going by and you get up in the morning, everything's covered in dust, your solar panels are still gonna be good to go. Wipe them off and put them back away. Don't leave the battery outside in the dust and the rain, but the solar panels, you're okay to do that, not a problem, especially with this new IP68 rating. Anyway, guys, if you're looking for something for your van, I definitely think this should be one of your top contenders. I really like the size factor of it, and the expandability is gonna pack a mad punch for you guys. Anyway, guys, I've reviewed a bazillion Jackery batteries over the years on my channel, and I think they're just getting better and better with every single release. I think coming up here pretty soon, we'll do a comparative video, maybe comparing a bunch of the expandable batteries. Jackery has one more battery they're about to release on September 1st, and I'm really stoked to show you guys that one. I don't know if it's gonna knock this one off the throne as being my favorite battery so far. It didn't. But anyway, guys, if you have any questions about this stuff, feel free to look up and do your research when it comes to finding the right battery for you guys. Remember, my favorite battery may not be your favorite battery, so do your research, make sure that you properly power everything you have in your van. Don't go too small. That's probably my biggest suggestion. Don't go too small in your battery stuff because you're just gonna end up having a poor starting experience. Sometimes it's better to go a little bigger than what you think you're gonna need. That's just tried, tested, true results, because if you're like me, your power is gonna expand and fast. Links are down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. We out, baby.